So you've had your first three birds have the three juvenile birds have set off.
They certainly have, yeah. Yesterday, it was just quite a shock. Wasn't expecting it at all. Thought they were going to be here for at least another couple of weeks. And also, they don't normally set off all three together. Normally,
No.
sort of one will go, then a couple of days later, another might go, and and then it's usually a really sort of long, drawn out process. And it was just on a hunch yesterday, late last night. I thought, I'm just going to check that data. I just had a feeling, and I checked. And first of all, I saw, oh my God, one of them's gone. And I quickly texted Tony. I said, one's gone. I'm going to check the others. And then I was like, oh, the second one's gone. Then I was like, oh, they've all gone. And they all left yesterday.
Oh, sorry, the three of them have gone. How far away from the nest were they for you to realize actually they're not coming back? This is not just another exploratory test flight.
The first one I looked at was Kirk, and he had gone into Dumfriesshire, and he was in a place near Eskdalemuir at Foul Bog. So I thought, well, that there's a chance there that he could turn around and go back. So I thought, I think he's gone.
What direction is that from you?
South. It's southwest.
Okay.
And it's a good 40 miles southwest. And I thought, that's quite a way. There's a chance he's gone. And then when I checked over to the next bird, to Glen, I realised he was in Cumbria. And then I checked Tweed, and Tweed was down at the towards the Welsh border, the Welsh-English border. So it was like, oh, they've definitely gone. There's no chance of them turning around now.
And wow. And do you have any idea where they are now? Have they kept on moving? Or
usually we found with the trackers that when they keep flying overnight, it's over water bodies. So like they've done overnight traveling over the Bay of Biscay and places like that. But usually when it's over land, they'll find somewhere suitable to roost, and they might even move a couple of times during the night. But and then they'll crack on early on in the morning when they set off again. But Kirk stayed in Eskdalemuir. He hung around there. He is now almost at the Solway Firth, but so he's still in Scotland, but he's definitely heading south. He's almost at Solway Firth. He's at a place called Middleby, and that was at 11 o'clock this morning. Glen stayed in Kendal, in a little plantation just outside there in a tree. And then this morning he headed off out to the Irish Sea. And then is now heading south. So he's like basically going to cut across the Irish Sea and down into Wales. And Tweed, he went straight down through past Whitchurch, and is now virtually in Welshpool, and still going. So the next data update will be about 6 o'clock tonight, and I would expect that Tweed will probably be South England by then, and I would think probably within a day he'll have left the country.
And have you looked at all at what the winds are doing at the moment, or what they might be doing tomorrow?
No, I haven't had a chance. It all happened so fast. It was a beautiful day here yesterday. It was just really glorious. It was mild, it was high pressure, it was really lovely. And today it's low pressure and it's raining, and it's just a bit miserable. And I don't know what the trigger was for them all three to go, whether they, it was this weather front coming in or not. I just don't know. No idea what the wind directions are or anything at the moment.
Do you know if any other birds have moved? We know that 4K, who's also being monitored, has not left, and his juveniles haven't left yet either. So
no, I checked on another one of our local sites. I checked on somebody who lives quite close to that site, and just said, the birds there, and all the birds are at that site this morning. So and it's just really, I don't know.
Maybe these ones have been like just fed super well, and they actually just feel like they're big and strong enough that they can go. Have you noticed whether the parents are being particularly successful at fishing?
Yeah, well, I think they've had a really good summer for a start, and they have been super parents. Their mum is a bird we call Mrs. O. She hasn't got a ring number, she's just got a BTO ring, And she's been like super mum. She hasn't left the nest site really from pretty much since they were hatched right the way through. And then she left on migration about 2 weeks ago. So then they've just been there with their dad, and they were starting to explore the area. About 2 weeks ago, they were getting more and more adventurous, going around the area, checking out the 3 different valleys. And then last week, they had a change of behavior and they just stayed around the nest site. And I was just thinking, why have they suddenly stopped? Why are they no longer exploring? And they were around the nest site, and their dad, PW3, he's ringed as, was still bringing fish in, and he was bringing fish in regularly. And some, each bird was hanging around, and each one would just get a fish. They were really, really well fed. They were looking good, flying strong. And I suppose there was just nothing to keep them here. Now, whether their dad has gone, was that the trigger? I don't know.
Oh.
Or whether they've just gone, and because somebody was on duty in the Wild Watch room yesterday and said that on the camera they couldn't see any birds, but they could hear an osprey calling loudly around about 1 p.m, something like that. So that could have been the final bird before he left, because one left about 1:30 and the other 2 had left about 11:30 in the morning. Or whether it was the adult male, whether he was, around, we don't know. So it'd be interesting to see if we've managed to catch on camera if he's actually left. And did they go because of that, or has he already gone?
Fascinating.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that one of the birds, in fact, I haven't got a mental map of where all those places are, but you mentioned one of the birds on the Welsh borders.
Yeah.
Does it look like, as many of the young birds do, it's taking quite a westerly route? So,
well, the one it's on the Welsh-English border at the moment, so it's quite tucked inland. The only one that you could worry about at the moment is the one that's in the Irish Sea, heading down towards Wales, if there was a sudden change. And that's definitely, but he's heading south. He's not doing a westerly. They've gone to the west from Scotland, and then they now seem to be going sort of due south.
Okay. So at the moment on this trajectory, if they don't have really strong easterlies, they are taking a sensible route. If we get strong easterlies, there might be a problem. So yeah. Okay. Well, that's wonderful to know that they're on the move. Can't wait to hear whether it's because their father has left them in the lurch and they've had to. But yeah, if anybody spots them, if they've actually started fishing, I guess if they've left before they're ready because their father's gone, they might try and feed en route. But anyway, who knows?
Yeah.
It's all at the moment.
Yeah, Kirk was at Loch Esk, so it does make you wonder, was he fishing there? He was there yesterday evening and then first thing this morning.
Slightly different positions, or just sitting in the one?
No, there's lots of dots moving about, and then
okay.
so it's quite difficult to sort of separate it out, because also if you have a dot and then there's a delay, you don't know where it's been in during that period of time. It could have been moving quite considerably. So yeah, that one definitely visited a loch, but the other 2 I don't think have. They've just gone straight down and inland. So
oh well, great. We've certainly met lots of people en route in France and now in Spain that will be looking out for them, which is good. Fingers crossed they get this far.